2, 3.
Good morning, folks. This is Mikey Zena from Northern Magic Handmade Cast Nets here in the dreary, nasty, drizzly St. Augustine, Florida. We're having some one of our nasty weather periods, but anyhow, I want to do a little short video today. I want to start out with, first of all, it's just about to the holiday season, and I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and a very Merry Christmas. And the reason I'm doing this early, I'm going to tell you about that, the reason. And another thing I've never done, the subscribers who subscribe to these my YouTube channels. It's pushing 1,000, and I want to thank you so much for that, for spending time. I get a report every month on the site and how many views, how many this and how many that, and it's really getting up there. It's really it makes you feel good, you know, that you have that kind of a following, and I really appreciate it. I really tell you how much I appreciate it. The other thing is I'm scheduled. I'm going to be out of commission for the month of, pretty much the month of December. I'm going to have cataract surgery on my eyes, which I need. So that's going to start December the 5th will be my, going to do the right eye, and December the 12th they'll do the left eye. So I'll be probably the most part of December. I won't be able to do much on answering emails. You can call me, but okay, with that out of the way, I'm going to go over a few questions that I've had recently, and there've been some people had some issues with getting the Dacron, and I use Cortland, and somebody for some reason had some difficulties finding getting on the site. If you do a Google or whatever search vehicle you have, use Google. It's Cortland Line Company. That's the name of the company. You go right to their website. And then the thing with websites, you got all these choices. They have a lot of different products. But what I use is the Micron Fly. So if you do a Cortland Google search and put in Cortland Line Company Micron Fly, F-L-Y, you're going to go right to that product. And there's 5 or 6 different colors. You can choose the color you want. I can tell you right now, I use 30-pound test, and you need to be, if you're thinking about making a 10-foot, whether it's a 6-foot 5/8 mesh net or whatever you're thinking about making, or a 10-foot 1-inch mesh mullet net, you're going to need 2,500 yards. They have, on this particular product, they have the little small spools, and then of course the bigger spools, they have 1,000 yard, and they have the 2,500. I suggest that you just go ahead and get the 2,500 yard. And I've told you this before, this stuff's expensive. Compared to nylon, this is, you're looking at $169 from their website for a 2,500 yard spool. It's free shipping. Orders over $100 is free shipping. Now, compared to nylon, which you can go to Memphis Net and Twine and you can get a spool of number 4 nylon for 17, 18 bucks plus the shipping. But anyway, people want Dacron. I got to answer an email later from a lady who, and I like that, because very, very few ladies seem to be net makers anymore. And I've told you this, originally, thousands of years ago, the early net makers were women. Women they made the clothing, and they made anything out of material. Okay. Now, let's see where I'm at. Yeah, if you wanted to go the nylon route, it's number 4 bonded nylon, and it's Memphis Net and Twine. I wish you would call me. I'd rather talk to you personally, because I do meet some very interesting people, and I love to get the phone calls because you learn something. Every time you talk to somebody in a different part of this country, a different part of the world, you learn things, the way they do things. And I mean, some of them are really, beyond what I would do. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. Had another request here a few times about the braille lines. I use, you have to use nylon on the braille lines. I use number 15 bonded nylon. That comes from Memphis Net and Twine or other sources. And number 4 to make the net. Okay, now what I'm going to do today, when I get this little bit of BS that I'm doing, I'm going to start. I'm going to show you how to start a net. I've never showed you how to start one out of Dacron, and there's really no difference between Dacron and nylon in reference to the actual physical working part of it. The only difference is, I'm going to tell you this, and I've told you several times, that if you just learn, if you know nothing about making a net, and you're just learning, you're looking at the videos or whatever source you get, and you want to make a net, I should strongly suggest that you get you a spool of nylon and learn how to master those knots with nylon, because what I'm fixing to show you, you're going to see why. Because it's a small diameter line, and when you tie a knot, you tie a knot. It's very hard to untie, and I hate to see you try to learn with this stuff, and you get frustrated because you're going to make mistakes. You get frustrated and quit. You get discouraged. That's the word we want. So I hope you don't do that. So that's why I would learn with the nylon, and once you feel comfortable with tying the knots, then start your net out of Dacron. Okay, I'm going to show you how to start that net. And we start now. People start with different things, but the way I start my nets, the way they've been doing it for hundreds of years, and that is I'll make a 14 winding net. So I'm going to have 42 in the top. And when I start my windings, I'm going to come down 8 rows. 9th row is going to be my first winding row, and I'm going to put those windings 3 apart. What's 3 times 14? 42. Okay, now, when you start that net, you're going to tie 41 mashes. Number 42 is when you take the tail and the line from the needle, bring them together and tie a knot. That's number 42. Important. Do not forget that. I had somebody call me a while back. He made that mistake and he didn't want to know what to do about it. I told him how to work out of that. But anyhow, so I think I've covered everything that I wanted to talk to you about. Again, I want to thank you immensely for subscribing to us. I know Phil's been right here with me on every one of them, and I know he enjoys hearing about this stuff. About people are so interested in what we do. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start. I've got my needle of twine. Now, this is a handmade net. There's going to be no seams. There's no seams in it. It's a continuous circle. I'm going to show you. I'm going to tie one knot, and it just goes and goes and goes round and round and round till you get to the end. There's no seams in it to come loose. So with that said, and what I use here, I've taken double. It doesn't matter what color, because this is what goes around the horn. When you finish the net, this is what's going around. You're going to cut this, and this is going to go around that horn, and you're going to tie it. So what I use leftover scraps. Like I've got a spool of, what's that spool of Dacron? Reach over there, Phil. Can you reach over there and grab that? I don't know, I'm throwing you out of sync here, but this is Dacron micron. Got a hole punched through it where you can't read the micron. But anyway, that's the type of line we use right there, 2,500 yard spool. And this is orange. No, this was pink. I love that pink. Anyway, it's a real dark color, kind of a rose color. And the remnants, this is not enough here to do anything with. So I'll take that and I'll use that to cut my pieces of this here. And what I'll do is, you can see what I've done. This has been doubled. It's double. I'll just maybe get about 10 foot, and you just double it to where you got enough line here that you're gonna have enough to go around that horn. Got a good look at that, Phil?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now I'm gonna start the net. The needle is full. Notice this, I like my long needles because it holds a lot of line. I don't like a lot of knots. The more line you got it can get on a needle, the less knots you're going to have in that net. But there's an issue with these needles. If some of the store-bought needles, the gap in here is so wide, you're going to have issues. But that line's going to keep wanting to come off on you. But anyhow, that's another story. And what I'm going to do on this one, I don't have to leave as long a tail on this, because this will put about close to a foot before I cut out. Now, see what I've done? I've gone cut in between the line. You can see that I just simply came in between it. All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to tie the first knot. Got that, Phil?
Yep.
And I'm going to just throw a simple loop, come around like this, and I'm going to tie a knot. Now, the size of this is really, it doesn't have to be, you don't worry about it being 5/8. It can be a little bit bigger. As you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to stretch it a little bit bigger. Now, the important part about this this first one is you want it tight. You really want to get this one nice and tight. See, I'm going to pull the dickens out of that. I want that knot never to come loose. See how tight I'm pulling that? I'll explain that to you later, why I did that. Because when you finish this thing, when you tie these two ends together, what you're going to do when this is finished, you're going to take this thing like this, and you're going to throw a loop around it. You're going to come in between here and pull that tail. Reach down here, you're going to pull that tail like this. And you're going to slide this right up to the size of this. You want that last mash the size of the first. That's what's important. And you want that knot, Phil, you can see where I'm going to place it. That knot's going to sit right up on the leading edge of that board. You can see that good, Phil?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now, I got to untie this because I got to show you how to make the damn net. Oh, no. Sometimes I do some of the stupidest damn thing. All right. Now, I'm ready to get started. I've got my first mesh, and I'm just going to do a few of these. I'm not going to spend 15 minutes tying 41, 42 meshes. I've already showed you. There is a video that Phil and I did quite a while back that that I showed you how to start it and how to end it. And I did it in 2 sections for time's sake. So you can find that, and it shows you clearly. Now what I'm going to do, see that mesh board? See how that tail's hanging down? So you don't get confused. I'm going to run this right up against it. Right, tightly up against it. See how I've got that, Phil? You can see that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to tie the first knot. Now, important that you keep these things straight. I'm going to show you how to do that right quick. Here's that first one. That's important, and you're going to have to double tie this. You have to double tie these, and I'm going to do this simply by going through here twice. See what I did? That's going to tie a double knot. That's what we want. Now, and what I'm going to do, a little quick tie. Make sure that's nice and tight. That's the first one. Now I'm going to do this. I would do this 41 times, and then I would tie in, and then you continue on with making your net. I'm going to come through there again. Now this is a net, by the way. I've got an order for this. This is a net. So I'm gonna, this is going to come through here. I'm doing this as slow motion as I can. See how I went through there twice? Now, periodically you want to check these things. You want to take them off and make sure. Just come together like this. You can't see this very good, but you want to make sure that these knots match. They should be right even. Okay? If they don't, and they're going to get off on you a little bit after you get out a ways. In case if they're too close together, then when you start back in, what you want to do is you're going to want to tilt your mesh board down this way. If they're too close together, bring your mesh board up this way when you start back, and check it. Tie a knot and check it. But try not for that. If you take your time to keep it straight, that won't happen too bad for you. Now there's another way of doing this. I mean, I showed you that I'm going to complicate you, but you can do this in 2 steps. See, I'm going to tie one knot, then I'm going to come right back and tie another knot. That's why I did this for literally for years. And I started doing it the other way. I don't remember. Same thing. Same thing. Okay? You go in between. And I'm going to do this 41 times. Now, after you do probably 5 or 6, you want to keep a count because you don't want to go over that. That's what happened to this gentleman that called me. He said he had a problem because he messed up. He tied 42 instead of 41 when he tied in, so he had 43 instead of 42. And when he come around with his windings, he was confused. Okay, now I'm going to periodically after you do 5 or 6, 8 of these, you want to take it off and see what you got going here.
Hold it.
See what you've got? I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd take them off the board and I'd come back in and start again. You wouldn't want to put 41 on this board. You definitely wouldn't, make sure you wouldn't want to do that. Like I said, I do 5 or 6 or so, and after I do this 3 or 4 times, I'll stop and count them. That's the important thing. You want to maintain that close contact with that count. And anyway, I'm not going to mess with this anymore because I'm boring you. Not necessary. Like I said, we have a video covering this stuff. So simply what I'm going to do is stop this. You can see how you start this. Now this is Dacron. Dacron Micron. Cortland is the name. Micron is the brand. I don't know. They make a lot of different products. You don't have to. I mean, you can go to that website. You may like something else they have. They have other types of material now, Dacron. But I don't know. The reason I got hooked on this one was one time I ordered some spools of the other stuff they had when I started using, and I guess they were out of it and they substituted. So right away I contacted my buddy, my supplier. I questioned him about it, and he explained it to me. He said, well, Cortland was probably out of it, and so they just substituted. I mean, he said it's good material, so I've used it ever since. Okay. I think that I'm not going to go any further. Like I said, we have a video covering this subject. Everything you need to know on making a handmade cast net. Now that's a handmade cast net, by the way. There's no panels, and I keep repeating myself, there's no panels in making this net. There's no seams to come loose. you've got a continuous circle. That's what a handmade net is. Don't be. I know you go online and look up. You want a handmade cast, and you're going to get companies like Johnson and oh my goodness, and there's so many of them that claim that they're making custom handmade castings. By the way, look up the definition of custom. You'll find out what a custom is. Something different than the ordinary. It's where you can do something different. I make custom nests for people. They want a certain size mesh. They want a certain number of widenings. They want a certain amount of weight. Those are the kind of things that make it custom, because it's different from the ordinary of what you do. All right, guys and gals, I want to thank you again immensely for Phil and I appreciate your patronage, the way you keep up with us. We enjoy this immensely. And I hope again that you have a marvelous holiday season. And probably we won't get around to doing another one of these probably till after sometime way into December or the first of the year before we get back where we can. I'll try to get a combination of calls. I prefer phone calls, so I really enjoy talking to people because you can go into depth. It takes me a long time with one finger typing to answer emails. But anyway, I'll do it. But I got to go answer one now for my lady. And with that said, for goodness sake, take care of yourself, be safe, and don't hesitate to call us. And until the next time, Phil, you got anything to add? Everything's fine? Okay, until the next time, take care of yourself.